you have thousands of thoughts a day. You say thousands of words a day. Who are most of these thoughts and words directed at? The answer's pretty obvious. You spend most time talking to yourself and you're always living in your own head. It's very easy to be unkind to yourself in your own head. So make sure you're minding your language. Challenge your negative thoughts. Ask yourself if what you're saying is factual. Ask if those thoughts help you. Stop the runaway negative train from spiraling with questions of logic. Don't go immediately from red to green. Spend time with that amber light. You spend more time in your own head than anywhere else. Try and make it a nice place to be. Mind your language.
Yeah, I think this is... You spend all your time in your head and you have most of your conversations with yourself and you create your own reality. And I think the important part of that kind of post there is let's try and bring facts and logic in, because so many of us can create this spiral of thoughts that it's not helpful, it's unkind, it's most importantly, it's untrue. Because we never really question ourselves and like, what's the reality? Like, what's the fact here? So when you're thinking about, oh, I believe this about myself, it's like, well, what's the fact? Or I'm in this environment, I don't like it. Okay, well, what's the reality? What can I hold on to and say, well, this is the truth, rather than what's this story I made up? And I particularly struggled with that around my mental health, is I'd spiral, make up these stories around myself or how I was feeling, whatever that might be, instead of just being like, actually, that's not true. You don't have to just listen to yourself. You can question yourself as well.
Yeah, I think that internal dialogue that we have with ourselves is the arsehole in the house that will incessantly follow us around unless we start to give that person rules, learn to understand them, welcome them into the house, give them the rules, tell them how to behave, and they will continue to follow you around, but you at least know how to deal with them a little bit better. And I think that has come from my meditation practice, my practice in mindfulness, just to understand that I'm not going to get rid of this voice in my head. I had an athlete recently reach out to me saying, I've got personal issues going on in my sport right now, and it's impeding my ability to focus. It's impeding my ability to concentrate. I'm getting angry. And I said, look, the reality is those thoughts aren't going to go away. I think if I told you right now, the amount of thoughts that are totally random in our conversation that we're having right now, and in the moment that you're listening to my voice, you almost can't control what's coming into your mind. But what you can control is where you place your attention, what you give time to. So do I want to spend time on those thoughts? Do I want to maybe understand them a little bit more so that I can just let them sit beside me rather than cover me and control me? And I think this idea of our internal dialogue as being something that we potentially could shut off, or even the idea of clearing our minds of thoughts, it's so totally unrealistic and non-existent, because if it does happen, it's only fleeting for a moment. Then you have to make the environment of your mind a much more comfortable place for those to exist. And you only do that by examining it, reflecting and understanding it.
I like the rules. It's you set boundaries for other people, so why wouldn't you set boundaries for yourself? And you only give power and energy to the things that you give power and energy to. And I'll say something that I don't think I've ever talked about publicly, but I've had intrusive thoughts probably every day of my life since I can remember, even when I was a kid. I don't know why. Really intrusive, not very nice thoughts, and from a very young age. But I've just learned that I might always get rid of them, but I can decide what I do about them and what I listen to and how much power I give them. And that might be quite a sad thing to hear, that genuinely as a kid, I can't remember a day where I haven't had an intrusive thought in my life, which is really hard. But I've just learned that they are thoughts, they are not reality, and they are not facts, and to question that and then to decide what reality I want to live in.
And it also doesn't mean that you're going to act upon them. It doesn't mean that you are going... A thought doesn't mean that it's a green light for an action. You could be standing in front of someone, a total stranger, and they're asking you for the directions to the library, and an intrusive thought could come in going, what if I punch this person square in the nose? But it doesn't mean that you are. Like it is that random voice that is just going on in your head. And it's the fact that I appreciate what you've opened up to saying there. And I think many people might listen to it going, oh my God, well, we need to support him, we need to surround him, like what's going to happen? But if you believe that every thought that you have is an action that you're going to take, like that, you'd be so inundated with things you'd be doing every day because you'd be constantly chopping and changing. Like, just think, anyone who's practiced meditation and just spent 10 minutes of being with themselves is like, if you were to write down every thought that you had in that 10 minutes of meditation, you'd be like, this is the memoirs of a madman. Yeah, it's just wild. Like, you go, who the hell is this? And that's the point, is that you go, well, this is not me. This is not how I logically want to behave. And therefore, like, I have to greet it with some form of humor in some stage and go, well, this is not me thinking or acting this way. This is just a random thought, but actually the ones that really matter, they're over here. This is what I want to focus on. That's what I want to have action to. And I think for an athlete, again, that's where I like taking meditation and mindfulness into performance, is because it's the ability to go, okay, I have these random thoughts and distractions, but actually I'm practicing the art of disseminating between what is really important to me, where I want to place my attention, whether it's just on the breath in the moment. But transferring that skill could be, I need to focus on the ball that is coming down at me at 90 mile an hour. I need to focus on my grip, my technical moments, whatever it might be, my focus points in the game. And that is where you transfer it.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's not like you don't have a choice in life, right? If we just did everything, if you live your life just on feelings or thoughts, you're going to be all over the place, and you're not. That's not how life works. You have a choice, and it's your actions and behaviors that create your future, not just your thoughts and your feelings. They're incredibly impulsive and temporary.
Hello, you legend. If you've enjoyed this video, then you might enjoy this video right here, which is the full unedited episode. Go on, head up to it. Up there. Go. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any new videos. I'll see you soon.